Hey, good evening everyone. I hope that everybody's been having an excellent week so far. I sure did. We have an amazing night ahead of us. So before we start, please just thank me for welcoming you guys here, man. So hey, GB Roll 138, nice to see you. How are you doing, man? So the cool thing is, it's the very first thing that I'm starting a stream and that there's already 7 person in here. So I'm super happy to see all of you here. By the way, nice to see you. I'm super excited about tonight project, as we're going to finish our happy little Space Marine. So we do have a new emote. So I now have a hype emote. So if you do exclamation mark hype, you're going to have our brand new hype emote displayed. And yeah, so that's going to be pretty cool. Moto, nice to see you here. That's great. Semi-lurking is perfect for me. So let's look at what we have on deck. Oh, looks like my cam is all screwed up here. Let me fix this. It's gonna take a second. So, oh no, not too bad. Okay, so we are going to trying to get camera working for stream. Oh, yeah. Can sometimes be an issue when things don't work. I know your pain, man. I know your pain. So this is what we're going to be working on tonight. it is surprisingly not done. Paint After Dark, nice to see you here, man. Alright, so this is what we have on deck. I'm going to work a little bit on the back of the gun, but not much. Like the Mini is pretty much glued by now, so the stuff that's not painted is just going to stay like that. Let's not forget that in the end this here was a test Mini. I think that for a test Mini it turned out pretty well. So give me just a second to adjust the audio here. I'm afraid that the music might be too strong. All right, here we go. So yeah, and we're going to be working on the base tonight. So basically going to do some work on the gun, do some work on what looks like a lens, but there's no lens in the visor, so it's going to be super awkward. We're going to do some highlights on the blue armor, because believe it or not, there is no highlight at the moment. And then we're going to move on working on the base. So for the base, we're going to do some marble effect using the airbrush on the tiles here. We're going to do some kind of decayed steel truss here and paint that small skull. After that, we're going to hopefully have the Mini sit on top of it. I might redo the scroll here because I find the scroll as it is right now is pretty much garbage. So I might redo it. And yeah, that should bring us to the end of tonight's stream. So yeah, we've got marble effect in our future for tonight. So I hope that everybody is doing super fine. I sure am. And we're going to have an amazing night together tonight. Thank you for joining once again. I'm going to make sure that my paper on my wet palette is going to collaborate with me here. Gonna take a second. And we are going to start by the back of the gun because this is what I feel like doing the least. So I'm going to clear the back of the gun. Paint After Dark, thanks a lot for that. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. So, at the moment, I'm not planning on giving this one away, but I'm going to do the same deal with you guys that I did last week. However, we're going to switch the deal a little bit. So, there's two things that would get that Mini to be given away next week. The first one, thanks a lot, GBRO, is if we're able to reach 315 followers, and if we're able to get 15 more subscribers from now to next Wednesday. If we reach that, then this Mini is going for giveaway. And the other way that this could be given away is I could be convinced to give this away to the highest would-be donator if someone is donating enough to cover the price of the Mini and the price of shipping it. So those are the conditions to get this Mini as a giveaway. So let me set the palette beside here. I'm going to mix some black and some bold titanium white. Now the fun thing is I also discovered this afternoon, because I played a bolt action game this afternoon, and last time I played bolt action at a local store here, I had bought a Citadel layer brush. So believe it or not, I was painting with my deadbeat Citadel brush for like a couple of for too long basically, while I actually had perfectly fine brush sitting right here, and this one has a stray hair that I'm going to get rid right now. Alright, so we've got a new layer brush for tonight. Oh yeah, bolt action is absolutely amazing. I love it. Bolt action is actually becoming my favorite game playing wise. Paint wise, I prefer the Warhammer universe, but play-wise, I have a thing for bolt action. So I'm still going to use my old shitty layer brush, I'm currently mixing a dark gray that is going to be used for the back of the gun. That's happening on the wet palette that you cannot see. Okay, going to clean this and dilute the color that I have on the palette a little bit more. Okay, now it's rather thin. I'm going to show you how thin it is on my nail. Okay. So this here is how thin the color is. So it basically is transparent. And I'm going to try to save that brush by cutting a stray hair on it as well. I'm cheap brush-wise, as you guys can probably figure out by now. There's more than one there. Okay, let's try this. So, cleaning. It has a couple more miles in it. Damping the brush beside the palette. And it is just going to be used to bring some hint of highlights at the back of the gun, because this was pretty much not planned for originally, because I thought that this would not be visible. Like I kind of fucked up here. It's just going to be hints of highlight, so that looking at the back of the gun is not too boring, basically. Okay. So what's everyone working on now? Yeah, like the way you're absolutely right. I do have the monument brush like right behind me, but the thing is, they still need to be prepared, and I'm a little bit lazy here. Like I have the brush, like the full kit, not just the detail, but like the bigger one that would basically replace the brush that I'm using right now. But I need to prepare them, and I just haven't went around to preparing them just yet. Okay, coming in with some black glaze to help tie all of that together, diluting some black right beside here, damping the brush. Okay, this is going to help with the blending here. Now that I have that, oh, GB Roll, Necromunda, and Night Aunt working. That's pretty cool. I'm going to admit something here. I am absolutely terrified of painting Necromunda minis. I find these minis are very, very detailed. Too much for what I'm willing to work on. So kudos to you, man. Necromunda minis they have a lot of details. Okay, it's going to be a bit of a highlight now. Okay, so while this does not perfectly fix my boo-boo, it is at least not too boring to look at from a viewer perspective. Light the way. Oh, sorry, the question was for GB Roll. All right, so what color are we doing the lens? Are we calling red on this? I think red is a good thing. Going to load some burnt red on the palette. That's going to be for the lens. We're going to be working with black, burnt red, red, and I guess titanium white or ivory. Loading the colors right now. And that's really awkward because the Mini is not meant to receive a lens effect there. So it's super strange. Start by painting the black. I'm a little bit shaky tonight. This is going to take some drying. Asher, you look amazing. Asher was also the gang I was playing back in the 90s, where the original Necromunda came out. Okay, so while this is drying, I'm going to load some bright ivory and sky blue on the palette. This is going to be used for the highlight on the armor. Bright ivory is on. Going over to sky blue. Black that we put there is not quite dry. So what I'll do is I'll take some ivory, mix it with a little bit of black, just a tiny bit. And that gives me a very bright gray. It's very, very bright. I'm actually going to show that to you guys on my thumb in a second. So this here is how bright my bright gray is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this and do some hint of highlights on the gun. Not all over, just some hints. Just bring some definition on the gun. Now this one I kept relatively thick. This thicker paint gives you, well, at least for me, I find that thicker paint gives me a little bit more control over what's going on my brush. Some painters are able to control super thin paint. I am not. At least not to the degree that I want. Hey, Lost Torpedo! How are you doing? Welcome here. Bansar looks badass. Indeed, they are. They don't just look badass, I think they are. I am shaky tonight. It's going to cause me some issue. I think I haven't slept enough. I'm usually shaky when I haven't eaten enough or when I haven't slept enough. And I can guarantee you guys that I have eaten enough. Oh, last torpedo. Hopefully you feel better soon, man. Sometimes a dot of white paint will make all the difference. The gun already looks a lot nicer than it used to moments ago. Alright, moving on to the lenses here. I'm going to do a quick check to make sure this is dry. This is not quite dry. I'm going to just blow some hair on it. Actually, I'm going to start mixing for highlights on the armor. So we're going to be working with a mix of bright ivory and sky blue for that armor highlight. Mixing this off cam right now. So basically I'm going for almost a baby blue. And this is not going to be uniform. Like some of these highlights will be done with baby blue, and actually I'm even going to load dark gray blue on the palette because there are some areas of the armor that are in the shade that almost don't have any lights to them. So believe it or not, that dark gray blue is going to be used for highlights in these areas. Alright, so it's time to switch brush. I'm going to, sorry about that, I'm going to Monument number 1 and diluting my dark gray blue a little bit. This is the one I'm going to start working with. So it is pretty dark for a highlight color. It's going to be used in some key areas. So it might be only barely visible on the cam. But on the mini, actually is visible and actually makes quite a difference. I'm going to brighten it a little bit because as it is now, it's slightly too dark for my liking. So what I'm doing is I'm just mixing dark gray blue and sky blue together at the moment. It's giving me kind of a nice middle desaturated blue, which I like very much actually. I'm going to clean off the brush right now. Alright, this is more what I want. So we're going to work with that color for highlights on the armor. For the areas that are darker colors. It's a little bit too much. So I'm going to go across the model with this in pretty much every spot that I want to receive that highlight. Going to start bringing the model together quite a bit. Going around it slowly. This is going to be a little bit longer, but we're bringing the model home tonight. It's going to be done by the end of the stream. EB-roll, what do you mean? Yeah, flu sucks. Hey, Los Torpedoes. Thanks a lot for that follow, man. Much appreciated. It's super shaky tonight. Can I get some hype in the stream for Lost Torpedo, who happily for us found its way on our stream? Hype, Beaver, everything that you guys are feeling like. I'm not going to overdo these too much. Thank you, by the way. Yeah, indeed. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Astaroth, I'm going just to call you Astaroth. Thanks a lot for that follow, much appreciated. What are you working on? It's nice to see new face in here. Can I get some hype and beavers in the stream for a new friend here? It's absolutely amazing. Lately we've been having a lot more interaction. And I'm having an excellent time. I hope that you guys are as well. Hashtag, hashtag, hashtag. Hey, Rati Root Tiger. Thanks a lot for that follow, man. Much appreciated. How are you doing? Get some hype for all of our new friends here. I'm going to be amazed, I think, every single time that we get new followers. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. People are actually interested in watching me paint. When I started that stream, I started it before and everything, so that I would have a schedule for my painting, like that I would actually stay consistent and keep my schedule. And it turned out that people actually are watching. And every single time that I get new people in here, I'm like, damn, this is great. I'm so grateful for you guys to be here. Always super happy to see new people. This is great. We're like 5 followers away from reaching 300 followers, which is absolutely amazing. Lost torpedo. Yeah. Honestly, that feels familiar to myself. You have no idea how much time I spend watching people paint instead of painting myself. I think we all have that issue. It's hilarious, man. Yeah. So the cool thing is, next model that I will be painting on the stream is Typhus. So I've got something in my head for Typhus. Just like this model that we're painting now was aimed at allowing me to push my skills and like bring me to do stuff that I don't usually do. Like I've got a bit of a secret project in my head for Typhus that I'm going to unveil only next week, and hopefully you guys are going to find it to be pretty cool. I'm super pumped for that Typhus model that I'm going to be painting, which is, by the way, going to be a giveaway. But yeah, I'm super motivated for it. Yeah, light the way. You have heard properly. We have Typhus himself coming on deck for the next paint project. So it should be pretty cool. Love that song. Oh yeah, it is going to be grand. Hey, Doom Gunny. Yeah, you actually have to be there for the giveaway. You're on base and don't know what do you mean? But Doom Gunny, when I get ready for the giveaway, when the Typhus giveaway happens, what I'm going to do is that I will make sure that all of my subscribers receive a message so that you guys know when it's coming. So basically, when I finish Typhus, I'm not going to give him away right away. I'm going to wait a little bit, probably a week or a week and a half, something like that. And then it is going to be given away. So it's not going to be something that's going to happen like overnight. Hey, Astaroth. So I do have armies, but I don't play much. So at the moment, I'm not playing. Oh, okay. Doomgunny, I'm going to make sure that my subs receives a notice beforehand when this happens. So Astaroth, I'm not a competitive player, and the 40k scene in Ottawa right now is has a tendency to be pretty competitive. So a side effect is I'm not getting the type of games that I would like to get. So for this reason, I am not currently playing 40k. But yeah, I mean, would someone walk up to me and would say, hey man, would you want to play like super casual, a game with a cool fluff scenario and stuff like that? I'd be, well man, absolutely, and I would love playing this. But the reality is, in my area at the moment, this is not the type of gaming that we're getting. So for now, I'm just painting them, and I'm playing bolt action instead. Doomgunny, thanks for your service, by the way. We never thank you guys enough for the sacrifices that you guys are doing. Very real sacrifice that not many people can understand. Oh, Astaroth, I'm playing I'm playing bolt action. That, and I'd say I'm playing a lot of bolt action, but that is also not true because there's not that many players of bolt action. Like there are some players, but it's not to the scale of 40k. But yeah, if any one of you guys is ever in Ottawa and feeling like doing a very casual, fluffy game of 40k, let me know and I will be in, because that's what I love about 40k. It's a fluffy game. Where I am right now is probably nearing 7:30. Yeah, it's 7:30 at the moment. Where are you, man? Dust Torpedoes, where are you from? Grace Walker, you don't paint fast enough for competitive? Or you don't play fast enough? Dust Torpedoes, nice to see a visitor from the UK here. Must be pretty late where you are right now. Okay, you're from Poland, but you're in UK. Haha, by the way, I will do for sure. But you know what? I'm actually planning on going to next year Adepticon. I don't know the area, but maybe we can hit a local shop around there and get some casual gaming while the serious players are playing in the main tournament zone. Okay, so this is very subtle, but also very right at the same time. Race Walker, don't paint fast enough. Yeah. I see what you mean there. Well, Race Walker, there's always commissioned painters that can help you. What area are you in, Race Walker? Because I do have some friends who are doing commission. I am not, but I have some friends that are. So if you want like references for commission, good price commission, let me know. Maryland, USA? Yeah, the people I know are all in Ottawa. If you're willing to ship, they can probably do something for you. Anyway, yeah, let me know if you need names. GC Rod, what's going on, man? Okay, so now we're going to move on for like the actual like brighter highlights on that armor. And this is going to be a two-step process. So the first step is just pure sky blue, and then we're going to work with a mix of sky blue and ivory white, and this will bring it home. Painting Mumak about 10 years ago, tried to beat me. Okay, cool. That's cool, man. It's always nice to have friends that do that stuff. And honestly, I will always be on the side of like, you should be helping your local community guys. Like, instead of shipping your work like on the other side of the ocean or whatever, like your local community needs you to survive. So this is very important. Like when I used to live as a kid in Quebec City, there was actually at some point in the late 90s where the community kind of disintegrated, and the shops that were there all died. People stopped playing. The hobby nearly died basically because the community disintegrated. So always support your local people when you can, man. Oh shit, I did a boo-boo. Okay, no, it's gonna be survivable. I'm going to come with some of our darker blue mix to try fix this just a little bit. Okay, this is better. GB roll! Am I missing energy? Do I need more energy? Guy did most of my commission or recently took up painting. Yeah, well, painting buddy is great, man. And also, like, if painting is not your like daily job, you're much better gaining a good painting buddy than doing a couple of more commission. Painting buddies are absolutely amazing. I know I value my painting buddies like big time. So Astaroth, actually no, I was not always super good, and I honestly don't consider myself to be super good at the moment. So you remember like moments ago where I was talking about that event that happened in Quebec City where people stopped supporting their local shop and all the shop closed, and yeah, so basically Quebec City at the moment still has not came back from that. Like there's barely any shops in Quebec City at the moment, which is super sad, but their community is starting to get better. So one of the shop, basically the shop that I was a client at, the owner of that shop on Sundays afternoon basically was paying one of his guys to show us kids how to paint. And as a matter of fact, I usually have that mini very close to me. Give me a second, because this is interesting. So he was paying one of his guys to show us how to paint, and we would go there, buy a model there, and spend the whole afternoon painting with them. And the model that you're seeing here is the only model that I have that survived my youth. This here, as it turns out, I believe is the very first model that I painted. Like seriously, like back then on that Sunday afternoon, I think that's the very first model that I painted with someone beside me, kind of helping me. So this must be one of my first 10 models that I have painted back when I was like 10 years old. GB Roll, thanks a lot, man. So from there, that guy, his name was Nick. He helped me quite a lot to learn like the basics, because the internet was not a thing back then. Like in the 90s, yeah, I mean the internet was existing, but community of painters and like YouTube videos and instruction videos and stuff like that, that was very much not a thing. So you needed to go in the shops and be part of your community if you were to learn anything, right? So that guy was my first mentor, and I painted from, say, when I was about 10 years old to when I was probably around 15 or 16, at which point I stopped, and I picked it back up about 3 years ago. So I stopped painting for about 15 years. Thanks a lot, GB Roll. Then, yeah, like the way sometimes this is bad. Oh boy, Lost Torpedo, yeah, this is not, like when you can't get your hands on model, it's not great. Well, I didn't want it to say, but well, no, just kidding, man. Just kidding. Oh, my wet palette is fucking on me right now. It's not moist enough. Hopefully I'm able to finish what I'm doing there before it dies on me. There's a lot of paint in that brush. Damn. Running into stupid issues here. So yeah, I've always wanted to do like painting competition and give like painting classes and stuff like that. But in Canada, there's not a lot of painting competition, and basically I got out of painting before I was able to reach that point, basically. So now is me trying to take my revenge. My kind of secret objective is to get to a point where I can take part in more serious competition. As a matter of fact, I actually placed second in a local competition with the Imperial Knight that we gave away last week. Light the way, yeah. That was a good base box, man. Oh, I lost Torpedo. You're not old, man. GB Brawl, I started playing 2nd edition as well, but I was one of the kids in the shops that guys would help learn how to paint and learn how to play and learn how to do everything that we had to learn to have fun back then, right? That's great, man. 2nd edition fellow. I actually have a 2nd edition box on my shelf right in front of me. 2nd edition forever, man. That was the best edition. The edition that you start playing at when you're a kid, for those of you who start playing as kids, I think is always going to be the edition that you're going to keep in your heart for the rest of your life. It's just, this hobby is such a beautiful thing. Like, I've got so many nice memories, like with my cousins, painting, just playing or inventing our own rules because we didn't add the game and we just had a couple of models. Like, that stuff is priceless, and it's what makes life. Port for Warhammer Fantasy Battle. I think same thing for me. Warhammer Fantasy Battle 4th edition was the base box with the Lizardmen and the Bretonnians, right? I need a sip of water here. That base box was amazing. There's some models that I painted back then that I regret so much getting rid of. I was such a big fan of Bretonnians. Now this is a little bit of touchy business. If I screw up, I'm going to screw up big time. That was a little bit fat, but it should be good. Should be able to save it. Okay. Part of the armor. It is dying on me on the brush. Okay. Wood Elf. I had a box of them. Like before I started playing, I actually bought like 1 box of the Wood Elf Archer. Mordame. Never played. I have some friends who did play and who are actually still playing it though. Like I remember being so angry back then that I lived in Canada because like all the cool thing that was happening in the UK. Yeah, Lost Torpedoes. We are talking about the ugly Wood Elves that was like single posed with a giant cape that was part of the model, and that came with a gigantic piece of plastic in there. Yeah, it was horrible, man. Okay, I'm going to switch brush. Going to, let's call it 0 or 00. Let's call it 00. So 00 it is. And we're going now with our mix of very bright blue. And we are going to do a pass on the areas that we just highlighted. And this should bring a lot of definition. And it's super important to be careful here because it's basically just a dot that we're doing. We're close to just a dot. This is bringing a lot of the reflective effect on the armor, actually. Hey, Mastro, how are you doing, man? Last Torpedo Warhammer quest was amazing. That was a little bit fat, but we're going to live with it. Little bit like that. Yep. So you guys see how the white that we're doing now is actually bringing the effect to life. It's just like a couple of small, very small dots, but it changed the face of the whole model, and that is amazing. I need to catch up on the chat here. Yeah, Warhammer Quest was amazing. Hey, Mastro, happy birthday! Yeah, those white dots are changing everything. And we get some hype in the stream, and beavers, and G's, and mooses for Mastro. Deserves it. Well, this is a Canadian painter type of happy birthday. Are you having a good night so far, man? And what are you painting tonight? This is the #1 most important question. What are you painting? So what I'm doing now is like super important. Like these points, these dots that I'm doing need to be very small If you're doing it too strong, you're going to lose the effect. So it's really, really, really important that they stay small. So you need to control how much paint you've got on your brush pretty much at all time. As soon as you're too strong on this, it's not going to work. It needs to stay super subtle. Like this here was a little bit too much. Slightly too much. But as you can see, the model is starting to pop like freaking crazy. Redemptor Dreadnought for a friend for his birthday. You are a good friend, man. Friend, food. Yeah. Sounds like Warhammer. So guys, if you guys are feeling like it, if you want to share my stuff on your social media to help me grow and bring more people in, that'd be much, much appreciated. Either on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever you guys feel like. Any help on this front is more than appreciated because my personal reach on the social networks is relatively limited and I'm already bugging as many people as I can, so I don't want to overdo my luck. Stronger here. Oh, that one has not been done. Hey, Maharon! With a rate of 31? This is absolutely amazing. Can we get some hype in that stream for Maharon with a gigantic party? This is super nice. And Maharon, how was your stream? Nice to see you here. I hope that everybody's doing fine and that you guys have been having an excellent night so far, as I am having an excellent night. We are digging up many memories from the past at the moment. Our current favorite subject is what edition of 40K did you guys started playing? Stream was good? Okay, what were you working on? Star, thanks a lot for that follow. Can I get some mooses? in the stream for our new friend? No Lang Create. Gosh, I am having a hard time saying this word. No Lang Create, thanks a lot for the follow. Seeing some 8th edition. Can I get some beaver in that stream, please, guys? And girls. Time is fleeting, you say. When I grab your hand, you turn away. So, just to put you guys in context, for those of you who have never been on the stream here, the mini that I'm working on here. Oh, give me a second there. Lady of Anguish. Gosh, like Creature Caster bases are absolutely amazing. Archer and Faceless. Mother. The Costar, thank you for that. Maron, I've got some Creature Caster stuff here that I've been like, oh, I'm going to get to painting that stuff, and I keep wanting to paint it, but gosh, their stuff is big. Like, some of that stuff is really hard to paint. Like, my stuff is still sitting in a box, waiting to be painted. I never get around finding the courage to actually start these projects because they're super big. Oh, mine are not even built. Azeroth, my Creature Caster stuff you talk about? It's actually in a box. Like, I cannot reach the box, but I will get around to painting it at some point. So the mini that I am painting tonight, we started last week or something like that, I think. And the original idea here was that it was to be a challenge for myself. So basically, normally I do a lot of airbrushing, and on this case, the point was to get me to do techniques that I'm not used to do. Oh yeah. I'm like Maron, the last month I've been absolutely stupid crazy on my side. Like, I delivered a project at work that was absolutely freaking insane. That was insane. Yeah, I've, like, the last 2 weeks I've actually been on vacation, and I'm being, like, friends are visiting and I'm visiting friends over. So I'm basically almost vanished from Twitch for the last month. I'll get to it. No worries, I'll get to it. I'm sorry that I've not been super present, but I've not forgotten about you. So yeah, the mini is basically a challenge that I had to paint it using techniques that I'm not used to do. In this case, it was NMM with a limited color palette. So I had, I don't remember how many paint pot that I was allowed to use on this, but it was fairly limited. So this is how that one project became what it is now, and it's also why there's a couple of funky things going on it, but yeah. So yeah, I just had, like, the last month and a half, couple of weeks basically, was absolutely stupid. Like, I barely had the time to work on this stuff for my own stream, so it's not great. do a little bit on the gold with that as well. No, I think the gold doesn't need to be pushed further. I actually don't want to push it further. Okay, so how are you guys finding this? I think the blue armor would be done. Okay, calling the blue armor done. Are we looking at a winner or are we looking at a loser? I think it's decent. Roll, thank you. Assarat, thanks a lot. The back is a lot more toned down because it's not exposed to light. The front is what should be of interest. Oh, I'm missing something here. It's not quite done. Okay, this is going to be better. Thanks a lot, guys. Okay. And actually the highlights on the backpack was a mistake of myself. I should not have pushed it that far. Okay. So, next thing is are we redoing the purity seal or are we letting the purity seal be how it is? Part of me find that it kind of is part of the style, but then part of me find that it could use maybe a little bit more of could be a little bit more refined. What are we thinking about the purity seal? Red glaze on the purity seal. So this here, the purity seal is as a gold kind of top. I'm talking not about the seal itself, but about the paper scroll. So paper scroll a little bit lighter. Okay, let me load some dryad bark on my palette. It's going to be just a drop. We're going to work on this a little bit more. Not much, but still. All right, we're going to bring it lighter. So I'm myself also not too sure about that scroll. All right, so I'm going to mix dryad bark with some bright ivory here. Now keep one important thing in mind is I am working with a limited palette. Like I don't have access to all the colors that I want, which makes things a little bit awkward paint-wise, because the colors that I usually use to paint these I don't have access to. So it kind of screws me up a little bit here. I'm currently doing a mix that I'm hoping to use as a bit of a base color for that scroll. Okay, how is that? Okay, for a base color it's not too bad. So the colors that I'm normally using for that type of thing I don't have on my palette, and I intend on respecting my own challenge here. So I'm mixing my own stuff for that scroll. This is going to require a couple of coats. Oh, for sure. So the mix that I'm working with at the moment is, oh my god, I almost did a disaster here. The mix I'm working with is dryad bark mixed with some bright ivory from Pro Krill, and I also have just a dash of burnt red in there. Okay, so I'm going, yeah, this is already a lot better. So I'm going to let that dry, because we've got another scroll at the back. I'm going to do the same thing on that other scroll. Okay, this is going to require some drying. Is the front dry? It's not. It's getting there. It's not quite dry. I'm going to wait a second. So while this is drying, I'm going to show you guys something. This is I'm premiering something tonight. A very good friend of mine decided to do something for me, so I'm going to show you guys something. This is the very first time I'm showing this. I don't think my wife has even seen it, so have a look at that. How is that, guys? So we're getting a new logo here with beaver and maple leaf, airbrush, brushes and everything. I love it big time. I love it big time. I find the beaver to be so freaking funny. Thanks a lot, everyone. I'm going to pass the message on to my friend. I love this so much. I'm probably going to have a couple of t-shirts done with this. So yeah, this is our new mascot, if this is even an English word. So it should be fun. So it's the very first time I'm showing it off. I was not. I'm super happy with how you guys are responding here. So yeah, there is some cool things still in the future. All right, now this thing is dry. Can someone let me know what time it is at the moment? Yeah, guys, thank you for having me redo that scroll, because it looked like garbage and now it looks a lot better. And it's not done, but at least the base color is much nicer. Okay, now this needs some dry time. Last torpedo, you are funny. Okay, so 820, gosh. I call whip. So, for everyone who's here, who's not here usually, around 8:30 we normally do a whip session. That gives me a quick break from painting. So, if you want to send me whatever you guys are working on at the email address that's displayed in the stream right now, so canadian.mini.painter@gmail.com. We will do a whip session in a couple of minutes. I say, let's call it 10 minutes, 8:30 as usual. That gives you enough time to send me your stuff. Should be good. All right, so let's start working up on doing a whip in a couple of minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to load strong tone on the palette. I'm going to bring some wash on that scroll before we do some. There's probably going to be some glazing involved there, but I want to bring at least a separation in between the scroll to a very well defined and clear state before I do anything else here. This is just Army Painter strong tone here. Putting quite a lot of it actually. All right. You guys want to show the stuff you are working on? Just send me a picture, the email address that's on the stream right now. If you have lost the email address, or if you just joined, just type !email. Okay. So, looking at that, I'm actually going to work with the mix that we did previously, glazoning some shadows. So I'm going to reload a little bit more of that dryad bark on the palette. Get me a slightly darker version of what we have, and I'm going to work with that. Currently doing my mix. Need it to be just a little bit darker. Okay, I'm going to add a lot of water to this. Because I need this to be extremely thin. Because we're going to glaze this in. Now keep in mind that this is not the colors that I typically use for this. So I've basically never used the workup of color that I'm currently using to do what I'm trying to do. So I have no idea how well or bad this will turn. And this is glaze, so it's going to be a iterative process, multiple steps, into hopefully getting something decent at some point. Make this slightly darker. A little bit more. I'm darkening it with basically black at the moment. Don't need to go crazy here. Black is going to be good enough for what I want to do. Diluting it again with some water. Okay. Okay, this is dark. Glazing again. It's important to not overwork your paint when you're glazing. Gosh, I love that song. Okay, I'm going to let that dry. Moment. got some pictures that are coming in. You guys want to be on this whip session? Send me an email. That email address that's in the screen.
I've never been one to believe in fairy tales of fantasy, but perhaps it's time for a change of mind. I guess there's a first for everything. We fell in love, we had a fun. You always had
Getting some coffee staining here, which I very much dislike. Just too much paint on my brush. This is pretty much what it means.
drinking from an empty cup. The hardest part of young love was growing up. It's not enough to fill me
Fixing the
up.
coffee staining is actually very possible. We're going to do it by glazing back some of the previous color, and that should fix our coffee staining problem. That scroll is already looking a lot better. Lord of Wolf, how are you doing? Coming in at a good time, man. We're doing a whip session right now. You want to show what it is that you're working on? Just send me a picture with what's on your desk at my email, !email. Not even sure I'm going to fix the coffee stain effect because this is a scroll, so it looks pretty good. Legion of the Dam, Lord Wolf, that's pretty good. So how are you doing the fire on the shoulder pad? I want to see this. Send me a picture. !email. I want to see this. And you're coming in right at a good time because we're a couple of minutes away from doing that work in progress session. Legion of the Dam, I remember as a kid, I was so amazed by the flames on the shoulder pads. I was like, gosh, that's amazing. And it's one of these things that I've absolutely never painted in my life. No paint on yet, just green stuff? Okay, cool. So are you green stuffing the flames? The flames or the heads, or what are you using green stuff for? Just gap filling, or are you doing something crazy there? Okay, so I am going to glaze back the previous color on that one coffee stain. So it's bugging me a little bit because it's just not well placed. If it was somewhere else, I would probably not bother. But it's not well placed. It's on one of these spots where there's going to be some highlights. Original cache, just filling. Okay, cool. Yeah, indeed, taking pictures in the middle of the night is really, really hard. think I'm going for the final shadow glaze on that scroll. Okay. That's the final for the shadow. Laying in bed? Yeah. Okay, I feel it. Okay, cool. So, you guys are going to give me a second. I'm going to have a quick look at the pictures before I show them on screen. I kind of have to. So, we've got two persons who sent us pictures. So we have Light the Way and Lordo Wolf, I guess. No, sorry, Lost Torpedo. Yeah, Lost Torpedo. Okay, cool. So everything is safe for screen. I'm setting up the pictures right now on my computer. It's not going to be super long. Oh, you've got some cool stuff there, man. Yeah, there's some cool pictures tonight. It's always cool pictures, but sometimes there's some that are just like grab you. When you see people making progress and stuff like that, it's always amazing. I love it. I love to see your stuff, guys. You can't begin to. Okay. So, total of 5 pictures. If there's some more people who would like to get on with the web session, just send me the images, and we're going to see to make that happen. So, without waiting, let's jump in. We have first Light the Way with a Demon Prince. So Light the Way has been working on that Demon Prince for a little while now. The armor red is airbrush, the skin is airbrush. There's some cool shadows going on under the skin here. The application of the paint is very good. I don't see any like defect from the airbrush itself. So that's great. There's some more pictures here. This is the other side. Love the gold on the hand there. What does this thing looks like from the front? So purple robe or whatever this thing here is called. Silver trims. The skin looks good. I would personally wash the metal a little bit more to bring some contrast in between the skin and the metal. But aside from that, Light the Way, I think you can be very happy with your mini here. It's going to look great on the table. You can work on some highlights on the kind of the toes that there are here. Eyes here. Oh, Light the Way, we're going to do some lens in a moment. You could do an effect similar to what I'm going to do on the mini. I'm not sure if I'm going to. Yeah, worst case I'll do a tutorial later. But yeah, the only thing is I think you could do some lenses here, and that would be absolutely great. And you have the ability to do this. So hit me up on Instagram. I'll show you how to do it if you don't know how to do this. Light the Way. Good model, and I know you've been at this one for a couple of days, so good job. Thank you for sharing, man. Now this is Lost Torpedo. Lost Torpedo working on the Space Marine. Yellow. The yellow is it's very, very smooth. I like how you did it. Your highlights are good. They're precise. The lines are not too fat. You might actually be more precise than what I am on the highlights. Good job. I love it. Yeah, your edge highlighting is very, very precise. Your lines are really thin. I like that. Lost Torpedo, do you have an Instagram? Am I already following you on Instagram? Hey, by the way, I'm going to show you the lens. You're going to see the lens is actually easy to do. Lens is, I'm going to steal a Kenny Boucher expression here, but lenses are secretly easy. Lost Torpedo, can you send your Instagram link on the chat, please? Or just find me on Instagram. It's Canadian. Like, I'm going to give you my Instagram. Send me a message on Instagram, and I'm going to make sure to follow you. So I try to follow everyone who's coming on my stream. Just send me a message on Instagram, and I'll give you a follow there. And you can also put your Instagram link in the chat if you want. But still send me a message, because otherwise I am going to forget, like 100% sure. So yeah, your yellow is smooth, the base color is smooth. Like, this is airbrush or hand brush. I kind of have a feeling for hand brush, but I'm not sure. I love what you did on the face here. Basically, I love your mini. Well, for manual brush, you're really, really smooth there. I love your mini, man. Good job. Good job, I like that. There's another one coming from you. Sister of Silence with a red armor. White cape with a lion on the cape. This is always a bravery test here. Good job. I love your highlights. I love how you did like the base color and then first highlight, and on the very tip you did that almost white dot there. I like that very much. And I dig your base work, man. Your base looks really good. I like that. I like that. Let's see if anyone else sent in some pictures. Oh, gosh, what did I do? Huh, interesting. I unwillingly closed a whole bunch of pictures all at once. Okay. Okay, so we don't have any more pictures. So send me a message on Instagram, and I want to follow your stuff. Lord Wolf, don't get discouraged. Alright, let's have a look at my ugly face for a moment. So guys, for those of you who are new here, please consider hitting the follow button. I'm trying really hard to reach that 500 followers so that I can be part of Creature Creator program and get some cool stuff from them to do more giveaways. If you like the stuff that I'm doing, you can also consider having a look at my Patreon. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I'm doing in between streams that is available through my Patreon page. And you can also consider donation or subscribing or whatever. Like, absolutely all help is more than welcome, because basically I'm not doing any money with this channel, and when I'm doing a giveaway, at this point it's all money that's coming right out of my pockets. So any help and support in continuing giveaways is more than appreciated. Like last Wednesday we gave away an Imperial Knight, a pretty cool Imperial Knight that is. And yeah, for that type of things to happen, I basically need you guys' support. So consider go on my Patreon, become a Patreon, have access to that stuff, Hey, Lucky Balboa, thanks a lot for that follow, much appreciated. It's exactly what I'm talking about here. Can I get some hype in the stream for our new friend that just gave me that follow? Lucky Balboa, what are you working on? All right, thank you for sending me that message, man. Much appreciated. So yeah, any support that you guys are giving is much appreciated and goes pretty much directly into making that stream the best that I can make it. So that's it for my let's call it corporate crap message. Let's go back to where you guys are actually here. Thanks a lot to everyone who sent in pictures. Now, also, if you guys are not following me on Instagram, my Instagram handle is Canadian Mini Painter. Codicus Prime, thanks a lot for that follow. Guys, can I get some, let's call it beaver this time in the stream for Scoticus. I can't say this. There's too much C and T in there. Scoticus Prime, much appreciated, man. Thanks a lot. So yeah, so those of you who are not following me yet on Instagram, please consider following me there as well. And like, I love to follow all of you guys. So if you're here and you're giving me a follow on Instagram, send me a message. Tell me that you are part of the stream here. I will automatically give you a follow there because I love following what you guys are doing. Actively comment on your stuff. If you've got questions or stuff like that, you can send me a message on Instagram. I try to answer every single message that I receive there. So yeah, so that's it. So all right, this is what our mini looks like. So thanks a lot, guys, for the support. This is much appreciated. So too much talking. I need to drink. All right. Our mini at the moment looks like this. Light the way. The more I'm looking into that, I'm not going to do the lens on this thing because I find they're super awkward and I kind of don't like them. My personal belief is that I would have needed to put a dash of green stuff there to actually make a lens. However, I am going to do a lens tutorial video where I show in depth how to do these. And if you don't want to wait for that tutorial video, you can have a look at the past stream. The stream that we did a couple of weeks back where we were working on that Imperial Knight and where I did the top canopy, gigantic lens and the eyes. This is going to be a similar technique. LabCH12345, I hope that your password is not 12345. Thanks a lot for that follow, much appreciated. Can I get some G's or moose in the stream for our new friend? Exclamation mark MOOSE. You guys are hitting like mooses. Okay, cool. So I'll do an actual decent video because I don't think that the surface that I have to work with here is actually super good for that type of technique. And I'd rather show it to you in a way that I find to be decent. Okay, so let's go back working on the scroll. So I'm going to do a lighter version of the base color that we were working with. Basically, I'm just going to add some bright ivory to my mix. Just a little bit. And that, I'm going to then add a lot of water there. So new people who just started following, what are you guys working on tonight? Guys or girls, I never know. And when you hear me say guys, please don't take any offense. It's just, I guess, a bad habit. What are you people working on? Okay, so going in with that lighter color for these highlights. This is not going to be the end of that stroll. using my dead brushes. I need to get serious about brush. Rune Wars Minis. I don't even know what this mini looks like. Shadow Spear? That's cool. Alright, what do Rune Wars Mini look like? Is it like futuristic? Is it like fantasy? What is this stuff looking like, man? Oh, by the way, everyone who is currently watching, we are 1 follower away from reaching 300 follower. If you are watching and are not following, please consider hitting that follow button. It would make me extremely happy to reach 300 follower right now. Cheaper version of AOS. Okay, that's cool. So I'm seeing the alerts a little bit before they come on screen. I'm going to wait before I do that shout out so that it comes on screen. Will I ever get the warning? If I don't have the alarm in a couple of seconds, I'm actually going to do the shout out before I get the alarm going. Alright, Lordo Wolf, thanks a lot for that follow. Lordo Wolf, you are officially my follower. That is my 300th follower. That is actually pretty amazing. Thanks a lot for that. You just made my day here. It's much, much, much appreciated. Now, I'm going to remind you guys something. The mini that I'm painting right now is not supposed to be a giveaway. But, and yeah, can I get some hype? Sorry about that. Arkempe, thanks a lot for that comment. So the mini I'm painting right now is not supposed to be a giveaway. However, if I'm able to reach 315 followers tonight, or before next Wednesday stream, and if I'm able to get 15 new subscriber before next Wednesday stream, or before the end of next Wednesday stream, I am going to give it away. So if you're in the stream and haven't hit the follow button, hit that follow button, and we're going to be one step closer, to reach that goal so that this becomes a giveaway. Lord of Wolf, I feel very. It's great. I like that. Thank you for that. And also, if any of you are Amazon Prime and haven't used your free Prime subscription, you do have a free Prime subscription that comes with your Amazon Prime as a Twitch subscription. Please consider hitting the subscribe button, and that will go a very, very long way in helping the stream. Okay, so I'm mixing another lighter tone here. And that tone I'm just going to use kind of on the side of the scroll, because I don't want the scroll to become too bright either. As you see, the small dots that I'm doing right now are actually going a long way in making the effect believable. Back here, I have to be careful, do it in reverse. You have to come back and do it again. So, Lord of Wolf, if this was your first follow button, there's a couple of cool painters that you might want to consider following. There's Maharan who raided us earlier. It's M-A-H-A-A-R-U-N. I hope that I say this correctly. There's everyone from the Long War, basically. So Next Level Painting, Jack of Clubs, there's Keyline Prime, there's, oh, I did a boo-boo there, I'm going to have to fix it. So all of these persons are absolutely amazing painter, and you might want to consider having a quick look by their stream. Okay, I don't want to overdo the highlights here. I don't want to overdo it. And I need to fix that boo-boo. Okay, this is fixed. Okay. Do we want to push the gold? So guys, the stream is going to answer this. You know how a couple of minutes ago we did like the almost pure white highlights on the armor? How would you feel about us doing the same or similar thing on some of the gold points? Hey, Lost Torpedo, thanks a lot for coming by, much appreciated. I had an excellent time with you, and I hope to see you later, man. Thank you. Okay, so we've got the gold. Do we want to do the same type of thing with the gold? Maybe that would be a good idea. So yeah, I'm going to switch the music. The music is kind of making me sleep right now, and I don't want to sleep. We're far from done. Yeah, that's going to be some groove. Good. Okay, so everybody seems to be sleeping, so I'm going to go for it. I'm going to mix a little bit of golden yellow. Light the way. Thank you. All right, so the stream has spoken. I'm going to load a little bit of golden yellow on that palette. My palette is starting to look like serious crap. Like it is a dead palette, basically. So just a dash of yellow on there, and I'm going to mix it with a lot of, I think I'm going for pure white, because I was originally working with bright ivory, but I think I need something a lot bolder, so it's going to be pure white. At least I'm going to test pure white. Because this is like last, final highlight stage, right? So, it's going to be pure white. Okay. Just a dot of it though. Not too much. Just a little bit. Just to make it pop a little bit more. And we're going to work with Monument 00 here. I don't want to overdo it. If I take a brush that's too big, I run a real risk of overpowering the whole thing. This is almost pure white. It's not quite pure, but almost pure. I need a command that that wakes up my watchers. I've got the drop command for me, but now we need a command to wake you guys up. I'm trying to stay very gentle here. It's important to stay extremely fine line. Because if the lines are going too big, it's going to kill it. And we don't want that. This is too much paint. So it's barely visible, but it's there. And it actually brings a lot of richness in the paint. Lord of Wolf, you can just type exclamation mark email, and you will be able to get my email address, and that's where you're sending the whip pictures. Now, I'm probably going to do a last whip towards the end of the stream tonight. And the building flow, that's good, man. I was just teasing. It's just funny. Because I have the drop command that you guys like to use. So I like to poke you guys about that.
No place to go, but I don't feel cold. I've been so blind, just lost my mind. But all I have lost, I find your face reminds me of these games. The memories don't erase.
Okay.
I'll never be the same anymore. I'm on the
So the
highest
gold
road.
is indeed a lot richer than it was. Going to do one final adjustment here. There's too much paint on my brush. All right. How is that looking, guys? Cool. Thank you for that. Okay, now there's one thing that we need to do on it that is super important. I cannot live. Yeah, the gold is popping big time at the moment. The white, even though, like, as you guys just saw, like, there's barely any white on this, but it actually helps a lot. Okay, so question for the stream: are we doing lines of writing on the scrolls, or are we leaving them be? Big questions. Because the way these scrolls are done, it's a little bit strange. I think I'm going to leave them be, but if you guys want me to do the lines, I'm going to do them. How are you guys feeling? Are we doing the lines or are we not doing them? We leave the scroll be? No lines on them? Got one vote for leaving them be? Not doing any lines? I can live with that. I kind of like them how they are. And because there's so many shadow areas on them, I'm not sure. Okay, yeah. I think there's enough definition there as well. Okay, we're going to leave them be then. Okay, so how is the stream feeling about calling this guy done and moving on to the base? All right, let's move on to the base. So I'm going to put some of my stuff aside here and let's have a look at that base. I'm going to secure this mini on the side because I don't want to destroy it. It's going to safely sit right beside, and this is the base that we're going to be working with. Now, in order to do that base, there's a couple of things I need to set up. First, I need to put my wet palette aside because for now, we're not going to be using it. Then I need to get my airbrush shit out. Yeah, I did work on the other side of the bolter, even though like it's not as good as good. The bolter I find is the weak part of this mini at the moment. So getting my airbrush out. And in order to work on what we're going to be playing around with, I need some sponges. So I'm getting some sponges and I will be cutting sponge because we're going to do basically the plan here. I'm going to have a quick look at the time. 9 o'clock. Okay. The plan here is to do a marble effect on the tile here. Now, there's many ways of getting that marble effect, but one of the ways that work... Oh gosh, my hobby knife is dying. All my stuff is dying, basically. One of the nice ways of doing this is to use a sponge. Okay, so an uneven sponge like this. So, I haven't done that in about a year and a half or 2 years or something like that. Maybe I want to use a piece of cardboard instead. Sometimes it's easier. Yeah, let's do cardboard instead. Do I have cardboard? No, I don't. So cardboard is not going to be. And since this is the base, I'm going to call my challenge over. And I'm going to pretend that I can switch to different colors. So the first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to get this to a gray type of color. So I'm going to use bright warm gray for this. And then we're going to do, we've got blue. So we're going to do a somewhat green marble. To get that green marble, we're going to use green and jade from Pro Acrylic. So I just picked up jade from the side here. It was not part of the initial challenge color. So we're going to start by bright warm gray on the tile. Once we have that, we're going to come in with green and jade in various variations of tones. So getting that stuff ready. And the cool thing is that mini is going to sit on a base tonight. All right, so you're going to hear my airbrush compressor there. I'm sorry about that, but there really is no way around using a compressor. So you're going to hear it. Putting my glove on. Going to put some cleaner in my brush. I always start by putting a bit of cleaner back in my brush to make sure that the brush is clean and nice so that I can use it nicely. And we're going with bright warm gray as a first color here. So, have I ever used it? No. Or yes? Yes. Okay. So, Pro Acryl being Pro Acryl, instead of loading the paint right in my pot, I'm loading them beside and then in the pot, because I don't want any crap from the top of the cap to fall in my airbrush. So now I'm putting some flow improver in that airbrush. Just a little bit. We don't need a lot here because we're not going to use a lot of paint actually. And then I'm using my crappy brush. Like, believe it or not, that tester brush here I've had for about 20 years. So loading a little bit of that paint in there. This is actually probably going to be quite enough. You don't need that much. Alright, mixing this pot. Cleaning the brush. Alright, Lord of Wolf, thanks a lot for that. Going to show that later on, probably around 10 o'clock or something like that. Okay, so I've never used that specific paint in my airbrush. I'm not even sure what to expect here. I just have an idea for... there's too much pressure here. So I'm at about 12 pound here. I've got a lot of flow improver here, so that paint is extremely thin. It's going to be multiple coats. I should have used a little bit less flow improver there, because now it's going to be like taking forever. Okay, so I'm just pushing air at the moment. Yeah, I'm going to load more paint in there, because otherwise this is not going to work. So I do have my paint too thin at the moment. Believe it or not, too thin is a thing. Okay, let's see how this behaves. Yeah, this should be better. Hey, Long War! Thanks a lot for that stream, that raid, guys. Much appreciated. Can I get some hype in the stream for Long War, please? Exclamation mark hype. We also have some beavers, exclamation mark beaver. Anything that you can throw at them would be much appreciated. And Rob Bear, if you are part of that raid and if you are looking at this, I have a t-shirt for you. And I hope that you live long and prosper, as my t-shirt says. Hopefully you guys had an excellent stream and a good night. So for everyone who's joining, if you've seen what I've been working on for the last 2 weeks, we are now working on the base for that Space Marine. And the Space Marine itself is right here. So tonight we are putting this on a base.
Find you in a better place.
And we are doing a base with a marble effect there. So this thing should be, like, I want the thing to look shiny, right? Winter Warrior 1117, thanks a lot for that follow. I've got another one that I think the alert did not came up. So Carnier, thanks a lot for the follow. Can I get some hype, some more hype? Oh, here's the alert. Some more hype in the stream for everybody who's just coming on. And yeah, I think it's going to be a great base as well. Like, it's going to be shiny. So right now I'm just getting the base color on that base. This is a Helric Hobbies base. And we're going to build the marble effect after that. Once the marble effect is going to be done, because I'm going to do it with the airbrush, we are going to then switch to manual brush, and we're going to finish the base from there. Now, there's one thing, that guy is not at this moment supposed to be a giveaway. However, if Sapper Steve, thanks a lot for that follow. If I am able to reach 315 follower before next Wednesday, and if I'm able to get 15 new subscriber before next Wednesday or at next Wednesday stream, I am going to give away this model. So now it's just about getting the base color in, because this is marble, so it should be all nice and even and smooth. So you guys are coming in at the boring moment basically, but in a couple of minutes or seconds, depending on how fast I can work here, we're going to build on that effect. Yeah, so I can be convinced to give that guy away. The other thing that can convince me to give this away, or actually to give it to someone, is if someone is willing to cover the price of the Mini along with the price of shipping that Mini. At which point, I'm good with just giving it away to that person. Okay, so this should be very solid color. Now the cool thing is we've got the marble and then we've got this stuff that's all broken right beside it, so it should make for a good contrast right on the base. Should be good. And I don't think I've ever worked on a white base before, so this is definitely interesting. So okay, now I'm going to clean my airbrush a little bit before I put some jade green in. And it's actually going to be jade green mixed in with some of that gray originally, and I'm just going to work as I feel here. Grace Walker, the base is Helric Hobbies base. If you are in Canada, you can actually buy them from Tabletop Gamer store. I keep tabletopgamerstore.com. I always, because I've got multiple names in my head when I'm talking about these guys. So tabletopgamerstore.com actually has Helric Hobbies, which is absolutely amazing. Get that stuff in Canada. All right. John Patrick? At least the price of the Mini, yes, along with the price of shipping and any additional contribution that you might want to do, which would be much appreciated. I've had that Mini sitting for a long time. Light Dork, thanks a lot for that follow. Much appreciated. Can I get some hype in the stream for our new friend here? Alright, so I'm going to load some... Let's work on Jade. I feel like Jade more. Carnier, where in Ontario are you? loading jade right beside here. I'm going to do some mixing here between jade and whatever the gray color was that I was using. And I'm going to put some flow improver in my airbrush, just a little bit. I don't want too much for this, but just a little bit. That might be a little bit much. Dropping a little bit, because if it's too thin here, it's not going to work properly. But I still need this to be somewhat thin. Okay, so I'm doing my mix on my cardboard here. It's just off camera. So I'm mixing this with the gray, and this is going to be our first color. Okay, loading the airbrush with that color. Just outside Ottawa. Cool thing. Thunder Bay for Lord of Wolf. Alright, let's see how this behaves in the airbrush. So I'm dropping my pressure to around 15 pounds. This is extremely thin paint. We'll need a little bit more flow improver. In the end, I was still too thick. I just added a drop in there. Going for more mix. Hey, Synard, how are you doing? All right, let's see how this behaves. Okay, this is much better. So this is a little bit tricky, because I'm going to try to adjust the camera to make this visible for you guys. Give me a second, because otherwise it's going to be you guys to watch this. Okay, I think this is the best that I'm going to be able to get the camera. I am pretty good, man. I'm having an excellent night. Now, to everyone who's watching, if you guys are not yet following, got a personal objective of getting 315 followers by the end of the night. If you want to consider hit that follow button, that would be much appreciated. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to use that sponge, and I'm going to start by this end, and I'm basically going to do lines with it. However, I'm not feeling the sponge because it's too thick for the place I have to work. So instead of doing a sponge, I'm going to destroy the box for the Mini, and I'm going to use a piece of cardboard, which works just as good. Okay, and I'm going to go this side because it's not a sponge. And we're going to start the lines with that color, and we're going to move to different colors. The important thing is lower pressure. Make sure that your fan on the airbrush is not too big. And not put too much paint on it. You also want lines that are uneven. Like, not all your lines should be pointing in the same direction. Let me adjust the exposure here, because you're not going to be able to see this properly. Okay, Black Tower Terrain, thanks a lot for the follow. Okay, so can I get some hype in the stream? Synard, thanks a lot for that follow. This is much appreciated. Now, right now, you're not seeing the effect well enough. This is because I'm working basically with a white base color, but at some point it's going to show on camera nicely, and I'm going to be able to show it with a better angle. So sorry about that, but this is a side effect of doing white marble. Well, white, green, whatever. Oh no, the base is dirtying up. My cardboard is not behaving with me. We're going to have to work our way around the crap that I just did on there. Okay, that cardboard is not what I want. Like, the effect is working. I get the buildup that I'm looking for, but the cardboard is dirtying up my work area. So, because it's leaving some very small piece of crap, basically, on it. So I'm going to use paper instead. Moving from one thing to the other until I find something that suits what I want. Thank you for that hype, guys. I was a little bit too absorbed in what I was doing here. Okay, so that paper should be good. Should not leave too much crap on it. Yeah, this is much better. Okay, so we've got part of the effect starting to show up here. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to dump most of the paint that I have in my pot. And I'm going to reload the pot with almost pure jade. And still, this is extremely thin paint. This is going to pop a lot more. Removing the old paint from the chamber. Okay. We're going at it again. And you can follow close by some of the previous line that you worked on previously, but just don't go right on top of them because it's a build-up, right? That one is a little bit strong. Okay. So we've got the marking that's starting to show. Hard sleeve. Like the clear one. I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about. Okay. So what I'm going to do, because right now basically the base is marked with patterns that look somewhat like marble, but I'm going to come back with that gray-white, because there's a place where I'm way too strong and I'm disliking this, so I'm going to tone it back down. This is a little bit a small piece for me to be doing this here. I'm feeling a little bit funky about that one. Okay, need to clean that more. Yeah, I don't have any of these. Okay, so for improver, loading that gray again, very thin. We're just going to tone down the effect because I feel like I went too strong there. I got a little bit excited and I went too strong. Okay. I'm just going to use the airbrush, bringing the whole effect way down. Erasing some of the lines that I've done, or close to erasing them. Making these lines thinner. Get a lot softer. Okay. A little bit more. Almost erasing all that I've done. Not quite all, but a lot of it. Basically, it's alright to go back and forth. Fix your mistakes, like what I've done here. Okay, so this is a lot more muted than what it was. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my airbrush like super far away. I'm kind of going to just put a mist on it to try tie everything together. Okay, so a lot more muted. Putting some cleaner in that brush, and now we're going to switch to manual brush. Take a moment to clean my airbrush because I don't want to run into any issues. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick clean. I'm just going to put it on the side and I'm going to finish that full clean once I'm done with the stream here. Okay, so I that brought it back. It's not going to be as good as what I wanted, but I think once the mini is going to be on it, going to be perfectly fine. And before I'm done with the airbrush, before I set it aside, I'm actually going to use it and blowing some air on this thing to allow it to dry faster, because the amount of flow improver that we used previously, if I don't do something, it's going to take forever before it dries. So this is just air, there's no paint. There's absolutely no paint in this. Just air. Okay, it's not quite dry, but it's going to be good enough for our requirements for tonight. So, putting the airbrush aside, when I do that, I usually forget it. Now getting the manual brush out. We're going to try to get that base best that we can. Alright, so first thing, we're going to do the black line in between all the tiles. I cannot live with how it looks right now. I'm going to bring my exposure back to a more decent level. My glove, because I don't like painting mineral brush with a glove. My black is way too thin right now. Loaded some thicker black into the brush. Okay. I'm going to put a little bit of black around the base so that we can get a feeling for where the base starts and where the base actually stops. Obviously, I'm not going to leave it like that. It's just for me as a visual aid, basically. Okay. I'm going to try to adjust the exposure here because that's really hard for you guys to see anything. Maybe working the gosh, my camera does not have quite what I want. Maybe lowering the brightness a little bit. Yeah, I think this helps. It's going to be really hard for you guys to see this. I don't have a good camera setting here for that. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I'm going to have to do it like this. There's no, my light is reflecting there. There's no good easy way. And yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so my wet palette is kind of killing me. I'm going to reload it because it's pretty much dry. So I'm putting back some water on that wet palette. I'm going to put another piece of paper there. I'm actually going to redo the black lines with a different color because the black is too strong. Okay, so that's an experimentation that is turning a little bit funky. Okay, so what do I have for this? Hey, Triple Diamond, thanks a lot for that follow. So let's go with dark warm gray, mixed in with maybe a little bit of black for the cracks in between the tiles, because the black is obviously way too strong. And actually, you know what? I think that dark warm gray is going to be just perfect. So I'm not going to mix it with some black. Might actually be too dark as well. So I'm going to give it a try and see how it goes. That's much better. That's much better. But now this is a little bit too thin. Can I get some hype in the stream for Triple Diamond, please?
saw a shooting star last night and thought of you.
Thanks a lot for that follow. Much appreciated. Follow what I'm struggling for. What I'm doing right now is a nice way of cheering me up. Thanks a lot. What are you working on, Triple Diamond? I don't remember. I don't remember having such issues. Painting something on stream. That base I started with good ID, and it's turning on me right now. Oh well, live and learn. It's not turning great. If you mix it with a little bit of that bright warm gray, it's too dark still. It's going to take all the time in the world to dry now. Okay, I'm going to let that sit. We're going to base other part of the base at the moment. So I'm loading some black on our new palette along with some mahogany, and I'm going to use this for the dirt area around here. So mahogany, oh, right in my face. And I am super set on finishing this tonight. Even if I have to redo that base, I will do it because I want to finish that tonight. Okay, so I'm mixing some black along with mahogany. A lot of mahogany actually. And now this is going to be as base color for this area. It's all going to be very long to dry. Readjust the focus. Now you guys can see what I was saying about the lines in the base. I had a good intention. It kind of screwed me over. So probably have to do a lot of work on the tiles there because they're not how I would love them to be. Yeah, it is really bright. Like this is most definitely not what I wanted. It's crazy bright. Now this here I'm going with a mahogany base.
Ready, set, go.
Like that is not the color that I was after, and I basically screwed up there. So it's going to take some work to bring it back, and I'm probably going to do this with a manual brush instead of the airbrush. Because yeah, it's very much not what I wanted to. Okay. Oh, sometimes that stuff happens. That's not what I was going with. Now, a real question is, how am I going to bring it back? So, I'm going to do a mix of dark warm gray with black I'm going to attempt at bringing that tile stuff back to a more decent color with this. It's going to look like concrete instead of marble for a little while. I might end up doing concrete. Depends. I don't know. I'm going basically at this point. My original plan is out the window, and I'm just going however it is that I'm feeling. I'm going to use a different brush than that. Where's my big brush? So yeah, the original plan is out the window now. That's going to require multiple coats because it's super freaking bright. Till all these coats are done, it's going to look garbage.
Remember when the waves would crash against our skin, breaking pieces of us off into the wind. It was easy to love you with our hearts in unison. Now we beat apart, and I just can't pretend. 'Cause you told me
I'm going to have to let that dry for a while. There's a skull that I can work on. I'm going to load a mix of ivory and mahogany on, and that's going to be used for the skull base color. Currently loading the ivory on. Doing that mix right now. Also, right before I did that, I reloaded my my palette with like a shit ton of water. So all my paint is super runny right now. Hey Karamir, thanks a lot for coming by. I was just sad that you came in like on that occasion where I screw up on stream. But yeah, thanks a lot for coming by, and I hope to see you in the future, man. Okay, so I'm going to load a little bit of dried bark as well in that mix for the skull color. So basically, you guys get to see how I'm getting out of trouble when I'm in trouble with a meme. All right, thank you, man. Sounds good, Lord Orwolf. Thank you for the cheering there. Let that dry. You get the airbrush out. Happy little accident. Dude, you know how to cheer me up. Thank you. Okay, so my main airbrush is super dirty. So I'm going to get my other airbrush out and plug it in so I can get some air to dry that stuff up. Hopefully I can get it dry because my humidity level in my basement where I am right now is relatively high, and this might be a job for a hair blower. my paint is super thin. Every summer, at the beginning of the summer, there's one miniature that get away from me, at least because of the change in humidity levels. Hopefully it's not that base here. No problem, by the way. Okay, so I'm just pushing air here, just trying to get that thing to dry. Okay, the main area of the base is dry. I'm going to leave my airbrush aside but plugged in. Oops, that's my mic. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm sorry for your ears. Mic went down. Okay. Get some more air on this. Hopefully dry it. Yeah, that base is not going to be nearly as good as what I wanted. But whatever. Shit happens. In this case, it happened. The main area of the base needs to be super dry. Actually, I am going to use the airbrush again for this. Putting this airbrush aside, bringing the other airbrush back, and this is going to be an airbrush save. Going to be faster to deal with this with the airbrush. Just need to dump whatever I have in there. Now I'm going to have to mix black and dark warm gray for this. Just removing the airbrush cleaner that was left in my airbrush. Okay, let's save this base. Putting black my piece of cardboard here, dark warm gray, mixing both. I'm going to adjust the mix as I go. I'm currently mixing those two colors in to get the shade of gray that I'm looking for. I've got a lot more black here, but I'm going for a lighter piece. So basically, I'm mixing. I'm not using all the black that I have. Hey, light away. Good progress, man. Good progress. Okay, so flow improver. Just a little bit, not too much. The base is already going to be a challenge to dry as it is. Loading my shade of gray in there. So we're going for a dark gray color. Hopefully this works. 15 Chaos Marine and Sorcerer. Good. I hate building stuff. I usually have one of my friends build stuff for me. Except when I'm painting on stream because I'm doing like the sub-assemblies. But other than that, I usually have someone assemble my stuff. Okay, so yeah, I should have went for airbrush right at the beginning here when I started working on this. Now my paint is too thin. So I'm going to remix some of that color. Bit more dark warm gray. Get a thicker mix. This is almost alchemy at this point. How will Phil save the space? You guys are open for bets if I am going to save it or not. should be alright. Okay, this should be a lot thicker. Yeah, that should be good. A lot thicker. Don't want to convert the sorcerer. I don't know if I want to convert. Oh, okay, yeah. Fair enough. Okay, this should be thicker. Going to blow some air here to allow this to dry. What was there before? Now pushing some paint on. Extremely thin, because our dry time is already pretty long on this, so I don't want to push a coat of paint that is too thick and that will basically never dry. So this is just air. Going to bring the exposure back to what it normally is. Should be nicer for you guys. Now that we no longer have a crazy bright base. This is paint again. Okay, I feel like we're solid enough. Just air at the moment to allow this to dry. The mini giveaway, that's a good bet. But we're still 8 followers away from the goal that was set for this guy. This is just air. There was way too much fluid earlier. The good thing would be a hair blower here. Okay, let that sit. I'm going to clean some of the airbrush. Yeah, we're getting there. We're not getting there on the subscriber front though. Give me a second. The current song is called Epixia. Actually, it's called Losing You. The artist is Epixia and Laura Graham. The name of the song is Losing You. Alright, I'm dumping what I have in the pot now. Going to make sure that I can safely put my airbrush aside without destroying it. Shouldn't be very long. Okay, I'll put that aside. Should be good. And I'm not going to be working with the wet palette here because of how wet it is at the moment. So, I'm going to be putting some strong tone. Everything is going to be right on my cardboard here. So, a little bit of strong tone. Need to put some around here as well, the rubble. Not too much, otherwise it's going to take forever to dry. Just a little bit. A little bit on the beam here. Beam is going to get some weathering, so no problem, man. Appreciate it. Alright. Should be on our way back on this base. Not out of the woods yet. We're getting there. Need to put some strong tone on that skull as well. That skull is going to get some highlights later. Okay, let's clean that brush. Okay, so lines are drying, the rubble's drying, the beam is partly drying, but not all of it is. Let's work on the beam. So I'm going to use mahogany here, mixed in with some burnt red. We're going to start highlighting that beam. So burnt red is a little bit like a cherry red, like light cherry red. And mahogany is kind of an in-between brown and red color. I'm using a lot more mahogany here. Mahogany is a pretty powerful color. Okay, dilute this with just a tiny bit of water. make sure that camera is adjusted correctly. Okay. Work that these, bringing in some color here. Some of the angles, not all of them. We're also going to use some like metal, like exposed metal on it. And in this case, the Mini is going to be sitting like this on the base, so light is coming from this way. So this side here needs to be brighter. This here also needs to be slightly brighter, but not all the way down, just towards the top. This needs to be brighter, pretty much everywhere. Same thing here. Now I did screw up. The back here is supposed to be darker, so I'm coming back with mahogany here. I'm actually going to mix a little bit of strong tone in my mahogany to make it slightly darker. And that will not be enough. I will need something more powerful than that. So I'll get as... oh, I do have a little bit of black left. Okay, that should be... oh no, that was too much gray. That black had turned into gray a little while ago. So, where's my black? Okay, cool. Doing just a drop of black here. And mixing some mahogany with that black. Gives me a really, really dark mahogany. Even if the paint here is not dry yet, I'm going with it. This is a proper shade, that's perfectly fine. And in here as well. And there. That part here is supposed to be darker. Okay, now we're going back to our lighter red. We're giving it another pass, the parts that we feel should be a lot brighter. Cool. Now that we have that, we're going to clean the brush. We're going to do a mix of mahogany and red, and probably a little bit of bright ivory in it as well. That's going to be used for dry brush. However, I'm not quite ready for dry brush yet because part of it is not dry. I'm going to plug the airbrush back in. Hey Admiral, how are you doing? Hope that you're having a good night. And we did some work on that Space Marine. So we're calling the Space Marine itself done. And as stupid as it seems, I got that Space Marine where it is. And when I got to start working on the base, I screwed up on the base. So right now the stream is holding its breath to see if I'm going to be able to save this one. Yeah, it was a pretty bad screw up, and I'm not happy with myself here. I don't usually do that type of stupid things, and that one was pretty bad. So this is just air, hopefully trying to get the whole base dry again. And oh yeah, and we're running into dry time issues. So basically, yeah, I've seen better paint situation. Let's just call it like that. So you guys are getting to see how I'm going to attempt at saving this one. Okay, so this should be dry. I'm going to let that airbrush plug aside if I need to get back to it. So now we're going for a mix of burnt red with mahogany. There's going to be more burnt red in it. I'm also adding a little bit of, oh, this one is totally dry. I'm going to add a little bit of bright ivory in this, as this is going to be for a dry brush. So we're preparing our dry brush color basically. Oh, this should be good on a dry brush. Okay, this is good. This is the color I want for that dry brush. So cleaning this, I need to work fast because I'm not on a wet palette right now. So basically, because I'm not on a wet palette, my paint is drying like extremely freaking fast. So, I don't have that. Okay, getting that on the dry brush. The cool thing is it's just dry brush. So. Yeah, that works. This might actually have saved it. The effect works pretty well, actually. The color mix is precisely what that looks like when you see this in a building. I'm still capable of painting. Okay. Going to clean that dry brush. Hey, Strop 968. I hope that you're not going to remember me for this base, but rather for this Space Marine here. The base got away from me a little bit. I screwed up on it. So usually I try to get more to this type of quality, and the base right now I'm trying to just I'm just trying to save it to make sure that it still looks good. But yeah, that's how I paint. How are you doing? Okay, so I do have some ivory right now. I'm going to do some dry brush on the skull with that ivory. Oh fuck, come on. It's one thing after the other tonight. I just crapped out on the skull. Skull is going to wait a minute. It needs to dry. Okay. I'm going to get the colors that I usually use for my rubbles on the bases, which are not here. Give me just a second, guys. I'll be back. The color is just too far for me to reach it, so I'm going to remove my mic and I'm going to just get there. It's going to take like 30 seconds for me to find the colors.
Close my eyes, it's all coming to me. Who said these walls could never be breached? We all long for that one thing, a life that's worth living. And tonight there'll be a reckoning. I'm ready. Are you with me?
Okay, I am back. So I've got, I love to use Goldfang Brown for my bases. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to remix a bit of color for the skull. I'm going to redo quickly the base colors on the skull. I'll also have to redo the wash on it. So the base color for the skull was a mix of bright ivory and mahogany. I'm mixing this on the side very quickly here. And there was a little bit of black in it as well. So getting this mix going. Alright, cleaning that brush. So Admiral, how have you been doing? Sorry about that, I'm dealing with a bit of a paint crisis here. Okay, not quite the same base color as previously, but that's going to be fine. We're going to dry brush the crap out of it. Okay, let that skull be for a moment. And now I'm going to get some dark warm gray going. We're going to work on some of the main highlights for the various styles that are there. Alright, I'm happy that you're good, man. Yeah, sorry that I did not greet you properly when you walked in. As I said, I'm currently dealing with a little bit of a existential crisis on my paint side here. Basically, while we were doing that base, I screwed up multiple times. So I'm just trying to save the house from fire here right now. Ah, no problem, man. Just happy to see you here. Okay, so now I'm going to use a dry brush. I'm going to do a little bit of stippling on this in the corner. This is going to bring the general aspect of it a lot brighter. And I'm removing most of the paint from the dry brush, just like if I was actually doing some dry brush. And to validate this time that this is dry enough, and it's not. This is better. So I'm going to do some stippling a little bit on the top tiles, bringing basically texture in. Maybe a little bit With a little bit more paint. Removing most of the paint. Should be good. Doing some stippling. We're far fetched from the marble that was the original objective, but at least it's better than what we had previously. So I'm going to use a different dry brush here. I'm going to use a bigger one, and I'm going to do the same thing again with a bit of a bigger dry brush. And I will need another towel because this one is currently all wet. So bigger dry brush, same color of paint. Remove most of the paint. And going for another round of just stippling. Okay. It did brought a lot of interesting texture to the base. Don't know if you can see it nicely on the camera, but it's much better than it was like moments ago. Cleaning that brush. I need to push some air on it because I'm going to have to reuse it. I need the brush to be dry. So this is just air from my airbrush. Okay, this should be good. So now I'm going to load some bright warm gray. Right in where I had the dark warm gray moments ago. Just letting one drop in there. And I'm going to mix the two colors together. Which gives me bright warm gray that is just slightly darker. I need a little bit more of that dark warm gray. Just a tad. A little bit more again. Trying to not go too far on a single go here. Okay. Now one more drop of the brighter one. Going to put some water there. Okay, we've got an interesting tone. Cleaning the brush. Okay. Going for another quick highlight on the lines here. I need to work fast because I'm not working with a wet palette right now. If my paint dries too quickly on me, I'm going to be left in trouble. Once this is done, we're going to go back to our dry brush and we're going to do some more stippling. At the moment, I'm not looking for precision, like that concrete or whatever you guys want to call that. It's going to be a little bit banged around. So I'm not actually trying to be super precise here. Just trying to work fast and do whatever I can to bring it back home. Okay. Not too bad. Now we're going to load the dry brush again, the smaller one. And we're going to do stippling again on this thing. Basically, it's going to give us multiple tones of gray. On there, that will be more visually interesting. Yeah, that's a lot more interesting than what it was a moment before. We basically had the concrete. Okay, so cleaning the brush. I should not have any more need for the airbrush at the moment. So I'm going to take a moment and unplug it. Okay. Put that in a safe space. Cool. All right. Putting some of that strong tone on the skull. Strong tone I'm just going to let dry naturally here. That skull is going to get a dry brush treatment. It's very much in the background. So now I'm going to overdo the skull here. Okay, this can wait for a second. Hey, light the way, thank you. It's much better than what it was earlier. I'm still not super happy with how it turned out. Like, I think that the original idea would have been great, but anyway, I mean, from time to time, there's one that get away from you, and this one is that one for me. Light the way, thanks a lot for being here tonight, man. Much appreciated. And I hope that you have an excellent night ahead of you, man. Have a good one. Thank you, man. Thanks for your support. All right, so we're going to work on the rubble here while the skull is drying. We're going to load mahogany on our piece of cardboard. We're going to mix a little bit of mahogany with probably no, you know what, I'm going with mahogany directly. I'm doing this with a dry brush, so I'm removing most of the paint, but that is going to be slightly more wet than what we are used when dry brushing. So not all the paint has been kind of dried out. It's slightly wet. Okay. Now I'm cleaning that brush. Thanks, man. Have a good night. It's important to dry that damn brush as much as possible. Okay, so now I'm going to use dry Gold Fang Brown from Citadel. Whenever I'm doing a rubble, this is typically how I end up doing it. I love that color for this. And this is going to be a real dry, not just like half dry, dry brush. And it's going to be the highlights for the rubble. It's good enough. Yeah, it should be good. And that is starting to show pretty decently. I'm going to put some of it here because we've got some metal that is destroyed.
But you don't rush something that you want.
reload a little bit of that dry color on the brush. It's kind of empty right now. Okay. Okay. So the rubble is showing pretty nicely. Clean the brush now. And now we're going to use some bright ivory dry brush. Lord of Wolf, thank you. It's coming back, but the thing is, sometimes when things get out of hand, like what happened, it can be a little bit unsettling. And the issue is when you're streaming, when stuff like that happens, like suddenly you're like full on outside of your comfort zone, and you're basically scrambling to get back to something that's decent or halfway decent. It's just not a fun feeling. I'm going to try this on something else. I have the base here, because I don't want to screw up again. Yeah, okay, this is good enough. Actually, it was not good enough. I'm going to do this. I'm going to put back some strong tone on it, and I'm going to do this with a manual brush. I'm not going to cut a corner, because cutting corners here is actually fucking me over. So, alright. Let's go back. Strong tone again. That thing's gonna be so freaking thick by the time I'm done with it. Oh, but the strong tone is kind of bringing it home right now. Not sure if I am coming back on that skull. I kind of like how it looks. Lord of Wolf, what do you think right now? Alright, this is the marine that's going on it. I think it's decent. Okay, you know what? I'm going to cut the marine off of there. And we're going to look at positioning it on the base. Oh damn, the backpack just fell on me. Okay, I'm going to take a quick correction here. Things have been going sideways for about an hour here. Hopefully I don't screw up anymore. Oh gosh, the mini is falling apart right now. Yeah, the mini is falling apart. Shit. Should still be able to put it on the base. Going to look at how it falls on it. Okay. I have some wet paint here. So this here is where I'm drilling. Going to let that dry for a moment. Going to put the mini aside. Yeah, marble would have been cool. Shot 968. Happy little accident. You're absolutely right. There's learning in all of these accidents. Learning is what we're all after in the end. Oh gosh, and now I lost my drill. Oh, it's right there. Okay. So this is where we're drilling. going to drill all the way through. I'm going to do this off camera because I don't want to have the resin crap on my work area once I'm going to be done drilling. Gosh, that resin is thick. Okay, I'm trying to work as fast as I can here, guys. Bear with me. Okay. If you take the base off and see how much I need to cut down on the pin for this to hold properly. Okay, I need to angle the pin quite a bit. Okay, I need to take a second there, because otherwise I am going to screw up even more. And I don't want to fuck it up even more than it already is. Packing that backpack with blue tack here. Okay, so it should hold together. Oh, the gun is falling down. That's a piece of crap. Okay, so this should work. Okay, so I'm going to put just a dash of super glue on the feet there. We're going to let it sit for a moment because I'm hopefully not going to destroy any more of my previous work tonight. That is too much. Okay, that's better. I'm going to let this guy sit for a second. I very much don't feel like destroying it. I'm pretty proud of that model, even though it gave me all the hard time in the world. So I'm going to take that 1 second to answer a message that my wife sent me moments ago. Alright, that's been handled. And while this is drying, we do have a work in progress that was sent by Lord the Wolf for banners. Oh my god, man, this is great. Those are banners that you did? Lord the Wolf, I think you're still in the chat. If you are still in the chat, please confirm that these are banners that you did. I am really, really impressed here. Those are great. Okay, so while the paint, not the paint, but the glue is drying, we're going to have a quick look at what Lord the Wolf sent me, because this is actually really cool. Okay, so those are banners that Lord the Wolf is working on. I'm going to show both at the same time. Give me just a second there. They're done with watercolor. Man, you've got serious talent. You've got serious talent. Gosh, I kind of wish I was able to do that. I love it. I love it big time, actually. It looks really, really good. Can you explain a little bit more about your process and how you go about painting these? Okay. But what's the process in painting like a watercolor banner like this one? How do you go about doing this? What's the challenge? Like, if I was to start trying to do this what would you advise me to do? Like, what's the proper way of doing this?
Can you feel it? The fire in your soul, leaping at the chance for love. Can you feel it? Haunting your senses, letting all your feelings go. But I can feel it, rushing through my veins. Your love's the only drug I know. But we've been playing the hand now with death, so we can light it up.
Large scale. Okay, yeah. So basically you start by making like a full size or like a big sheet of paper instead of starting with something that's banner size, right? Okay, cool. Have you done a lot of these? Like, how often do you do that stuff? Because that's pretty sick, man. Oh, wow. Okay, well, man, I'm impressed. Oh, shit. Okay, yeah, so you're basically a watercolor artist. Which is pretty cool. Not even close. Okay, well, for me, you are probably the best watercolor person that I know right now. So I'm going to call you the watercolor artist from now on. Well, 2 years is still more than zero. Thanks a lot for sharing this, man. Now, while we were looking at your watercolor stuff, I actually cheated and I started doing some black on the base for this guy here. I just did a quick tour there because I knew there would be some dry time involved. So I'm going to push air there just to make sure that this is dry before I go for the second one. Oh man, I'm honestly impressed. Like, I wish I was able to do that type of thing. Pushing air, making sure that primer is dry. It's really good. Okay, putting airbrush on the side, going for another coat. Just try to take my time here because we're pretty much bringing this one home right now. Kinda don't want to screw up yet again. I can avoid any further screw up on that one mini. It will make me very happy. Hey Favernor, how are you doing? You're coming in right when we're about to finish this miniature, man. How are you doing? Farv is fine, thank you. Great. So, Lord of Wolf, any pick of models? Oh, yeah. But honestly, your banner thing is super amazing. So, Farvnor, thanks for asking. Yeah. Actually, give me a second. because I'm working on the base for this guy, and the base is currently wet, so I cannot hold him by the base. So this is how it looks like at the moment. But if you give me just a second there, I'm going to make sure that the base is dry, and I'm going to hold him properly so that the rest of the stream is able to see the model. And the model is barely holding, it's blue tacked together, and the one part that was not blue tacked as unglued. So I'm running in all the issues in the world right now on this guy. Okay, I'm going to put that on the side. Make sure that everything is straight on him. And so this here is our happy little Space Marine. And I am going to call him done. Thanks a lot, man. Parvnor, if you are not yet my followers, please consider hitting the follow button. My stream here is basically a tool for me to push my skill. I'm constantly trying to push farther, and this mini here was a challenge to myself. It was basically me working with techniques that I'm not used to do. In this case, non-metallic metal, because I usually work with an airbrush. Also I worked with a limited color palette. So I had about 12 or 13 color. Give me a second. How many colors did I have? I had 15 colors, and that 15 colors actually includes black and white. So I really had 13 colors. One of these colors was a wash, and the challenge was, can I do this mini using techniques that I am not used to do, and on top of that using a limited color palette. So it was quite a challenge, but I think it came out pretty nicely. Haha. Thanks a lot, Parvnor. This is much appreciated. Lordo Wolf, Strop. Well, yeah, I actually forgot to do part of the face here, which is pretty bad. Strop 968. Thanks a lot for that follow, man. Much appreciated. Can I get some hype in the stream for Strop 968 here? Exclamation mark. Hype. Drew Brother Knight, thanks a lot for that follow, man. Much appreciated. You guys can't even begin to imagine. Oh, Beaver is good also, but I'm going to give you some good old regular vanilla hype. And yeah, I'm always super happy to see people come here and be supportive. And on top of that, this here was the box art for this guy. So part of the challenge was, can I make something that's going to be nicer than box art? And this is my answer to this. I'm not sure if it's nicer, it's different. Parvnor, thanks a lot for that follow, man. Much appreciated. And if you guys have Twitch Prime, and if you have not used your Prime subscription, please consider using this to support my channel. Unforgivable, no, dude, you've got the most absolutely hilarious name on Twitch. I freaking love your name, Unforgivable Nope. So yeah, this is my version of it. So you guys be my judge. Did we do better than the box art, or did we do worse? There's a scroll. I like what they do on the box art for the scroll, but there I was limited with my color palette. There's a lot of things I was not able to do because of that. Now this is a little bit whiny of me. I could have pushed it farther, but I'm good with that. Oh well, guys, thank you. It's very much heartwarming for me. Thanks a lot, guys. Much, much appreciated. There's the back of it as well. The base comes from Helric's Hobbies. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with it. I like it. Farvnor. Really? Everything is for sale? And the answer is how much you want to put. Because basically I'm trying to get the channel to a point where the channel is self-sustained. At the moment it is not self-sustained. The channel, like so far this month, the channel cost me about $200. So it is not self-sustained. Unforgivable Nope, thanks a lot for the following. I'm going to remember Unforgivable Nope for a very, very long time. Well, if you guys want to start an auction on this, be my guest, and the highest donation will get the model. However, keep one thing in mind. Right now the model is kind of not glued. I'm also not expecting to glue it. It's holding together by blue tack because I don't want to destroy the paint. Like obviously this model is not meant to go on a gaming table, and I will not let this model go unless at least the price, the value of the model and the value of shipping are covered. So if you guys want to start and do an auction, please be my guest. I do have a donation link. So exclamation mark donation. Does this still work? Oh, my donation command no longer works. Okay, so if you look in the channel description, give me a second, I'm going to get that for you guys. It's gonna take just a second there. I do have a donation link. And also I do have a Patreon where I'm doing in between streams tutorial and stuff like that. Okay, so here is the donation link. Would be prime front center. Yeah, well, it would need to get some glue on because right now it would not survive many battles because it barely holds right now. Like, I'm surprised that it's not falling apart at the moment. Alright, so if there are any of you that have the intention of trying to go for this model, please let the chat know right now, because otherwise I'm going to start a raid. And actually, while you guys are looking at that, I'm going to have a quick look at... Oh, so Keyline Prime is still on right now. So he is going to be the guy that we're going to be raiding. I'm going to have a quick look and make sure that he's still on for a while. I think he is. Coming back in my own thing. Alright, so nobody has answered in the chat to see if there is any intention of trying to just do a buy off of that model. Hello, Saint Gold. Thanks a lot for that follow, man. Much appreciated. So yeah, I'm pretty proud with this model. The next model that we're going to be painting is going to be Typhus. So yeah, if there's anyone interested in that model, just send me a whisper and we're going to be able to talk that offline. Oh, okay. So Farvnor, if this was to be sold for what it's worth, there is how much time did I work on this? Gosh. Like if I was to count the time and everything, if I wanted to make if I wanted to actually make money of it, I would have to sell for about $200, 200 to 250, something like that. So can I get some hype in the stream for Yellow Sangle? I got lost here in my mind, and sorry. Usually greet people much better than this. Thanks a lot for following, man. This is much appreciated. Alright guys, so we're going to set up a raid to Key Lime Prime here. Thanks a lot for being here. I'm super happy that this model turned out how it turned. Yeah, but I'm going to send you guys to Key Lime Prime, and Key Lime Prime is working on some cool stuff. But yeah, hopefully you and I can get yeah, but you can also get the stream basically on rewatch, because they're recorded and they're available. So like in a couple of minutes, when we do our raid here, you're going to be able to watch it back if you want. Alright, so we're going for Key Lime Prime. I'm going to pause my playlist here. Thanks a lot, guys, for hanging on with me tonight. We had a hard time on the base, but we were able to bring it home. Everybody is on the raid. I'm not going to waste your time and thank yous, but I'm super grateful for all the support that you guys gave me tonight. Honestly, I can't do that without all the support that you guys are giving me here. So thanks a lot. And I'm sending you to Key Lime Prime. I'm seeing you on the other side. Once you are there, please make some noise on Key Lime Prime stream. All right, thank you. See you guys.